Friday, September 1st, and this is the Maverick Minute.
Brad Woods, a Person County father, was arrested and charged for second-degree murder and larceny of a vehicle after shooting a driver that hit and killed his teenage son. He was due in court August 21st, but no updates have come on the case.
If updates on the case are received, you'll most likely hear about them in our headline news segment next week. Now let's talk about our North Carolina news story. On Monday, August 28th, a shooting occurred on the UNC Chapel Hill campus. Reportedly, one staff member was found dead, and students took shelter for hours from the shooter on campus.
Now more than ever, it is important to stay safe wherever you are. Safety rules learned from drills and lockdown practice should be employed wherever you feel you are in a dangerous situation.
Now let's move on to our United States news story. The tropical storm Idalia has strengthened to a hurricane, and it's predicted to hit the coast of Florida. A state of emergency has been issued for Florida, and the storm is continuing to be monitored.
Hurricane season can be scary, but keeping an eye on your local news broadcast and knowing your family's emergency plans could save your life.
You got that right. Now let's move on to our final news category, world news. This week, we're bringing you another story from space. SpaceX, NASA's newest exploration mission, is a rocket containing 4 astronauts from 4 different countries that launched from Florida on Saturday. The astronauts are currently free-flying aboard the rocket as they wait to dock at the space station.
I thought this was world news, not out of this world news.
That was just terrible.
I think you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Do you want me to give you some space?
Anyways, always remember that more headline news is available when you view the weekly Peaceful Press. Keep yourself caught up with what's happening in your world.
Up next, we got some interviews coming at you. The first interview is with one of our Peaceful graduates, Skylar Bashir, about a unique summer camp experience she participated in. Let's see the interview.
Camp was a really positive experience for me overall. I enjoyed being there so much. The only thing that I would say, maybe I would change is that all of the staff was living in one house together, so that could be crazy sometimes.
Was the camp food any good?
The camp food was surprisingly really good for the most part. It was food. It was good. You get used to it. You stay there for 3 months, but it was better than I thought it was going to be.
Would you still take a summer job if it was unpaid?
Probably I would still do it if it was unpaid.
Do you think your summer experience benefited you anyway?
I think it benefited me in a lot of ways. I think for sure being able to be out on my own and around a group of like-minded people my age all the time, without my parents just right there, it gave me the opportunity to grow a lot and learn a lot about myself and who I am as a person. So.
Where did your camp take place at?
The camp was on Oak Island, so Fort Caswell. It used to be a Civil War base, but they blew it up and turned it into a hotel.
So give us some highlights from your camp experience.
I would say definitely I got to live at the beach the entire summer. I got to watch sea turtles hatch, and I made some of my best friends down there, so it was a really good summer.
Keep in mind that helping out your community is an important part of being a Maverick. Speaking of helping out your community, that's the topic for our next interview. We've got another interview with 2 more graduating students, Tamara Peartree and Charles Woodall, about a back-to-school backpack giveaway they organized and carried out this past Saturday.
Well, we know there's a lot of people in the community that aren't as fortunate, so we just wanted to give them a little something to help them out.
Yes, this could be something that we would do next year, seeing somebody go without and knowing that you have it, you always want them to have something that you have, whether it's big or a small item. So that's why I was like, Tamira, let's do a back to school drive, and they just took off from there, and we just started ordering stuff right now. At the end of the day, you supported someone's child to go to school.
Yeah, because education is very important nowadays. And we want to thank our community as well for, helping us out with all donations and everything else. And I want to thank all the Peaceful volunteers as well for coming out and helping us.
Be sure to help your community out whenever you can. A small contribution could always go a long way.
Speaking of helping out your community, we've got one more interview for y'all. We managed to get an interview with Mr. Glenn our school support liaison, about the importance of community service.
Roll the clips!
So, it's nice to meet you, Mr. Glenn.
Thank you, Camille.
How has your first few weeks at the school been so far?
It's been good, interesting. I've learned a whole lot about PISA. I've learned a whole lot about the early college program and stuff, and it's a good deal. I like it.
What are some opportunities for teacher leadership?
Well, I think teacher leadership. Back when I was a teacher, pretty much, when I first started out, teachers just went there and taught the curriculum. Now teachers get to make decisions about the school, about the curriculum, and really help the students aspire to be the best students they can. As teacher leaders, they get to to lead clubs and different organizations and make decisions that's best for the students. And I think sometimes teachers are closer to the students, so they really know what's better for the students.
How would community service impact kids of our generation?
I think it's something that's important, something I think that's kind of necessary, because right now we, not just your generation, my generation and your parents' generation, we're kind of in a selfish type mindset. I think the country and the world is a selfish type mindset where everything's about me, everything's about making money, or enriching ourselves, material things. And I see community service as something that you're giving back to the community, and while you're giving back to the community, I think you're learning about yourself as well. And I think community service also allows you to kind of explore different career hobbies and all that type of stuff. So community service is really a good thing. I kind of wish I would have headed back when I was in high school. That way I could have kind of figured out what I wanted to do with my life, because back when I was in high school, I had no idea I'd ever be a teacher, ever an educator. And I spent like 30 years in education now, half my adult life in education. And maybe if I would have done community service back in high school, I kind of would have figured that out back in high school, and not when I was 30 years old.
And is there any information about yourself you would like to share with us?
Well, when I talk to people in Person County Schools, they welcome me to Person County Schools. Actually, I started in Person County Schools. I was a 4th and 5th grade teacher at North Elementary a long time ago, many years ago. And my mother was from Roxborough, and so I spent a lot of time in Roxborough. I've been an elementary teacher. I've taught the whole elementary curriculum. I've taught 4th and 5th grade math. I've taught 6th and 7th and 8th grade math. And I've also been a computer skills teacher. I've been a computer skills specialist. I've been an assistant principal. I've been a principal. So I've pretty much done a whole lot in education. And I think when people see me there, they don't realize, that I have been a teacher and just different things I've done. And I always want to do what's best for students.
Now that we've got through the interviews, let's talk about the announcements for the week to keep you up to date with what's going on in our school.
Spirit Week is coming up in September. From the 5th to the 8th, you can show your school spirit by participating in one of the various Spirit Week days planned by the Student Council. A flyer will be available in the PISA Press with more information.
Speaking of school spirit, we thank everyone who's enthusiastically participated in PISA's first club day last Friday. It's always nice to have a little break and do something fun at school. Looks like the end of this week's Maverick Minute.
Tune in next week for more weekly Maverick updates.
How do you not gonna get like a charity? Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Period. Okay.